Congratulations to the people of Ivory Coast. This is Ivory Coast right now. Type congratulations in the comment section for them.
Oh, mais la yes. C'est la force spéciale. La force spéciale. Yes. La force spéciale. Quelqu'un. Ah, c'est moi qui donne ça. La force spéciale. On dit en paix là. Grâce à Dieu. Voilà. La force spéciale.
It appears that there's an actual coup in Ivory Coast. The puppet of France and America, the very, very puppet that was chosen by Michael Langley to bring down Burkina Faso's president Ibrahim Traoré, it's being reported that he has fled the country and that the military has taken over. Seriously, they got the memo. People of Ivory Coast got the memo. So currently, there are videos that are emerging from the situation. It seems like people from Ivory Coast are in the streets. They're burning buildings. They're rejoicing in the streets. They don't want the Western puppet there, the guy that was assigned to actually unalive Ibrahim Traoré is gone. He's in hiding. You got the memo, people of Ivory Coast. Let's do this, man. Let's do this. It's time to regain who we are. It's time to cut the ties with the puppeteers, the people that have oppressed Africa for the last 400-500 years. People of Ivory Coast have done it.
There is a military coup in Ivory Coast right now. Allegedly, a coup is going on in Ivory Coast right now, and this is a good news for African countries who want to do away with France and its control system over African countries, because Ivory Coast have been used by France to plan its attack on Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso. There is some protest now in Ivory Coast. As the information leaked out, their internet was cut off. There is an internal coup in Ivory Coast, and there is no internet right now. Their internet have been switched off in Ivory Coast. This alleged internal coup by the military, who are now taking over the government. We actually do not know how true it is, but we are hoping that it is true. You know, the president of Ivory Coast, Allasan, have been a threat to Ibrahim Traoré. He is helping France to take down Ibrahim Traoré. Now he is being ousted out of Ivory Coast. African countries are now rising against France and other African leaders who oppose this movement. France must leave Africa. I will keep you updated for more information.
My people, najua muko kwa Samia Suluhu Tanzania, but lazima niwapee umbea. Ivory Coast had an attempt military coup, and it's allegedly successfully. The military has taken everything into power because their leader, their president Ouattara, was a puppet of the West, and this is what had been pissing off the Ivorians. So they decided just to wake up and let their president out of power. And let me tell you, Africa is now waking up. Things are boiling nicely. Remember, this is the same president who has been trying to sabotage Ibrahim Traoré upon supplying weapons, terrorism, and everything that has been happening in Burkina Faso has been behind this President Ouattara through the French colonies. That is it, my people. I'll keep you updated if you are interested, though.
Ivory Coast President Allasan Ouattara, where are you right now? Come out. Where have you been? We are saluting all the revolutionists who went on the street to remove that puppy of America. We as African, we are saluting all of you. We are believing in all of you. We are looking at all of you. Through you, Africa will be free from its chain, because that Allasan give American air base for drones to attack our Burkina Faso, our Niger, our Mali. Enough is enough now. I love all the Ivory Coast people who stood out against this dictator.
Hello brothers and sisters, I hope you're well. This is something I've been saying since I was 12, which is when I became more aware of the actual global situation and the reason why many African countries are not able to move forward. Since then, I lost complete hope in the United Nations, in the World Bank, International Monetary Fund, and all these international institutions that were created after the Second World War, or even before, by Western nations, which did not have the intent to support African countries in their development. So if there is someone to blame for the underdevelopment of African countries and the fact that they are kept in the state in which they are at the moment, it's just Europe. You cannot blame African countries. You cannot blame African presidents like many brothers and sisters like to do. That's exactly what they want you to do. They want you to blame the one you see, the one you think is taking or is making decisions in the country, the corrupt leader. But behind the corrupt leader, just like in Chile, you have Pinochet, but you have Margaret Thatcher in the UK supporting this guy. You have Reagan in the USA supporting this guy. He was a dictator. He mass analyzed thousands of people in Chile, okay? And when you look at African countries, you have Burkina Faso today, a country that has been under attack by terrorist groups every single day, unaliving hundreds, if not thousands, of civilians, innocent civilians, forcing them to fight against the government. Then we found out that many of these terrorists, they are crossing the border from a neighboring country. One of these neighboring countries is actually Ivory Coast. So something is going on in Ivory Coast today. The internet has gone completely down. We're receiving videos, short videos of people running around. We can hear gunshots, and we've seen the special forces taking control over some government buildings. It seems like there is a coup d'etat going on in the country. Ivory Coast have been one of the countries that have been criticizing Burkina Faso for a long time. They've been criticizing Mali, Niger, all these countries that decided to get rid of the corrupt leaders through a military coup, which is something that I personally do not support. But if it's the only way, it's the only way. So now it seems like his people from Ivory Coast, they have learned this formula. The way in which you get rid of a corrupt government that all is doing is the work of the West. I did show you videos on Telegram of these motorbikes from these jihadists that they have been left at the border. They basically capture trucks full of oil, petrol, to fill these motorbikes that the jihadists use to launch striking lightning attacks in different villages against the army, against innocent civilians. So now we have this going on in Ivory Coast, a very, very important country. Important because it's one of the most and key important countries for France at this point. Ivory Coast has access to the sea. Now, if France loses this country as a friendly country, remember, like last year, they removed the French troops from the country. The president was acting like he was being anti-French, trying to find some solution to the French occupation of the country, but that wasn't true. He was just getting ready to do the dirty work for the French, and he has been doing that. Now, people have been saying that he was the one actually supporting all these terrorist groups that have been launching attacks in countries like Burkina Faso. This is just wrong. It's completely wrong. And obviously, as Africans, when you see that your leader is behaving in this way, supporting terrorism in other countries, people terrorizing the local population, unaliving them by the thousands, in the worst ways possible, you have to take action. Same thing in Rwanda. Although the people in Rwanda, they're not politically aware as the people in Ivory Coast are. The people in Rwanda, they're too comfortably living under Paul Kagame. But he's doing exactly the same thing. He's financing the M23, he's financing Rwandan troops or other jihadist groups to go into the eastern part of the Congo and unalive civilians and steal resources. So this was what apparently Ivory Coast was doing. Have been caught, and now the military, apparently today, are still waiting for more information, more clear information, but it seems like they're taking over the government in the country. We have the special forces that have rebelled against the government, they have taken over control. You have people in the street, massive crowds on the street shouting, "You're gonna get rid of this president." All because he has misbehaved. He betrayed his nation in the worst way possible, which is supporting the very enemy many countries around the world they are trying to fight and to eradicate. Now you can see who is actually supporting these groups, that they are creating mayhem all over the Sahel region, all over Africa in general. Since 2011, the amount of terrorist activities in different African countries has increased significantly. There was a key event, which was the war in Libya, the bombing of Libya, and the removal of Muammar Gaddafi. I'm not saying that Muammar Gaddafi was the hero of Africa, but he has a good intention in mind, okay, for the continent. Although it was more focused on Islam and it was more Arab-centric, okay, but he had good intentions for the continent. And he was one of the key players in stopping all this from happening. But then, as soon as Libya was destabilized, all these individuals living in the South Libya, they move into different countries, okay? They move into Burkina Faso, they move into Niger, and many of them, with nothing, they join these terrorist groups, and they have been the one terrorizing the population, unaliving soldiers. It seems like the people of Ivory Coast, they're very, very politically aware. They know the history. And before this president, there was another president called Gbagbo. This guy was removed from power by the French. They actually sent the army to remove this guy from power because they did not agree with the election results. They actually say that he lost. So they got some stooge from the IMF to run the country. And he's meant to be a good economist. But look at the state of the economy of the country today. And look at what he's doing on the name of the people from Ivory Coast. If the news we're getting from this country is true, today this is over. It's over for him and hopefully for the neighboring countries that have been suffering under the financing of these terrorist groups that have been terrorizing African countries. I want to tell you that when you look at Africa and the problems, when I say you cannot blame the African president because they are no more than administrators. They are managers of a colonial economic administration. That's what actually many African countries are. They are not nations. They are not sovereign states. They are economic administrations in which other countries, through the neoliberal system, they exploit the natural resources, they exploit the population. And when they see that we are racing, they use terror. They use terror against us to threaten us, to put us back into our position and to destroy our will to continue fighting. But there are people out there that they're tired of this. The internet is an AK-47 in our hands, basically. The internet, our keyboard, is our weapon today. And you can see how there are many African people out there sharing the news, showing the truth to the people. And it's time now to wake up. It's time now to see the truth that we have been saying for many years, because we've been studying this for a long time. Obviously, we're not empowered to take actions, but those who are doing it, big support to Burkina Faso and what they've done in the country, the changes that they're doing in the country, and let's see what's going on with Ivory Coast, because if what we've been getting on the news is true, a coup d'etat is going on, and the current president maybe he has been removed from power, or even worse. Anyways, as always, please like this video, share it, and as always, brothers and sisters, I'll continue informing you.
Urisant, ici c'est au Côte d'Ivoire, vraiment, toutes les populations ivoiriennes, ils sont révoltés contre Allasan Ouattara, les gars. C'est pas moi qui le dis, regardez l'image. Selon l'explication, toutes les personnes qui travaillent dans le gouvernement, ils sont pas reçus leur salaire dans cette mois-là. Vraiment, ils sont là, ils ont dit que vraiment, aujourd'hui, Allasan Ouattara, il va quitter au pouvoir. C'est pas moi qui le dis, regardez l'image. Voilà. Toutes les personnes que vous voyez là, vraiment, c'est les personnes qui travaillent au gouvernement. Selon eux, ils sont pas reçus leur salaire, ils sont pas reçus en fait, plein de choses, ils sont même pas d'électricité dans leur quartier. Voilà. Les gars, ça dit que là, c'est la fin. Si on vous dit que c'est la fin, vous savez, on dit que vraiment, les populations, ils peuvent manifester, hein. Après vous dites que non, vous en foutez. Mais si le gouvernement, hein, les personnes qui travaillent au gouvernement, si elles sont révoltées là avec certains militaires, avec certains policiers, certains gendarmes, ça dit que c'est fini. Les gars, toutes les Ivoiriens qui me regardent, vraiment, venez nous dire ici, là, vraiment, si ce renversement de Ouattara, faut nous dire en commentaire. Parce que on sait que ça va pas en Côte d'Ivoire. Sinon, la vérité, on est ensemble, les gars, tant qu'un soldat. Si c'est renversement de Ouattara, nous on est très contents. Oui. Ciao, ciao, les gars, sinon, la vérité, on est ensemble.
News just coming in from Ivory Coast. It's allegedly that the attempt coup was successful. I just got this information from one of the followers from Ivory Coast. Although the internet was shut down, every social media platform was shut down because they really didn't want any information to get out. But it has turned out that the coup was successful. I don't know how sure the information is, but that is what I'm getting. I think the Ivorians were very tired of their puppet president, and they said they have to take him off from power no matter what, because he was trying to sabotage Ibrahim Traore. And you all know what Ibrahim Traore has been doing, what he has been fighting for. And their president was working with the West, the France and the USA at all means to take him down. Imagine, he was the one giving terrorists, supplying weapons to these people to ensure that Ibrahim Traore has stepped down or has been unalived. Yeah, that is it. That is the information that I'm getting out here. But in case of any information, I'll get you updated.
La force spéciale qui gagne.
News just coming in right now that there is a coup happening in Ivory Coast. Unconfirmed reports suggest that the president, Allasan has ordered the telecommunication companies there to shut down the internet to suppress the spread of information in Ivory Coast. There have also been reports, I cannot confirm, that Ivorians have been parading in the streets of the capital and other parts of the country in support of the coup. Now, recently, the Burkinabe president, Ibrahim Traore, accused the Ivorian president of Alassane Ouattara of supporting insurgent groups that are aimed at overthrowing Burkina Faso's president, Captain Ibrahim Traore. Now, we see recently Ivory Coast have also kicked out French forces. The same move we've seen in Burkina Faso and other former French colonies. Unconfirmed reports that there is a coup happening in Ivory Coast. As and when more information from there, I can get more, I'll bring it to you. Make sure you stay tuned.